Let's talk about stumbling blocks. So what in the world is a stumbling block? A stumbling block is something that trips people up. It's literally a block that someone would put in a path so the people would stumble over it, okay? A stumbling block. It's an old, Middle Eastern term. All right. So every one of our customers has stumbling blocks that prevent them, or at least make it more difficult for them to achieve the transformation that we want them to achieve. The interesting thing is we probably already know what many of those are. So there might be a problem with technology. It may be a problem with mindset. It may be a problem with time. It may be a problem with money. It may be all kinds of different things. We know what many of those things are. And so my recommendation is this. What if you ask yourself, how could I eliminate those stumbling blocks as early as possible in that person's relationship with me? So let's look at this two different ways. First one is when you're trying to sell them something. You want to eliminate those stumbling blocks actually before you ever give them an offer to buy from you. The second one is once they bought from you, and let's say they're in a course or a coaching program or something like that, you want to eliminate those stumbling blocks as early in that process with them so that they can be able to achieve that transformation easier and faster. So the earlier you do so, the better, the less stress they feel in the process, the happier they are with you and your program. So the less likely they are to refund. And the more likely they are to refer you to other people. And the more likely they are to actually complete the program. So we all know, we've all seen facts that show that 97% of people never complete the programs that they buy. 97%, that's astounding. So what if we could eliminate some of the stumbling blocks right out of the gate? In fact, what if you could eliminate most of the major stumbling blocks that are holding them back within 1 to 3 weeks of their signing up for your program? What if you just build into your program, hey, I know that you're going to struggle with this and this and this and this. And so I'm going to help you solve all of those right out of the gate. And so it might be here's a call where you bring everybody on and you're going to help them resolve this one particular issue that you know that 80% of them are going to have. Or it could even be a one-on-one coaching call with one of your coaches to help them get over that one key thing that they just cannot go forward with until they get that solved. Or it could be that you have a special bonus on that subject that helps them resolve that themselves. Or it could be that you have a part of your course that deals specifically with each one of those stumbling blocks that they're going to have. And you put that very early on in the course so that they deal with it right out of the gate and they're thrilled and they're moving forward. Okay? If you can do those things right out of the gate, they will be so much more successful. It reminds me of going to basketball camp as a little tyke, like a third grader, and the coaches, who were basically high school students, fixing my shot because I was doing this thing that was going around. I was using two hands to do it and all these things like that. And they know from experience that shot is less likely to go in. And if I would just fix it to do this straight line from my elbow to my wrist that points directly at the basket, they saw that immediately. They corrected that immediately so that I didn't have to be dealing with that months and years down the road. So let's now step back from this. In sales, how can you eliminate these stumbling blocks, these objections before you ever make the offer? Key question. Because once you make the offer, they say, oh, no, I can't do that because I've got this. But if you can eliminate the stumbling block before they even hear what it is that you want to sell them, they've eliminated it and they're ready to move forward. And they're grateful that you helped them solve it. So now they're really ready to move forward with you. Now, if you're doing it as part of a program, as I said, we try to do that within the first 1 to 3 weeks they come into our program so that they can move forward in their program. Now, this takes more work generally, because most people just ignore the stumbling blocks. They just go along and, if someone brings it up in a call, they talk about it. But frankly, most people never deal with it. And that's why 97% of people never finish courses. So this takes more work, but it's definitely worth it. People finish, people don't charge back, people don't request refunds, people refer you to others, people want to take other programs with you, people want to upgrade into your high-end programs. All those elements happen. So my challenge for you is this. Sit down and make a list of the stumbling blocks that your people are going to face. Make a complete list and then sit down and brainstorm, how could I solve them? And then think about some of those things I talked about: calls, coaching calls, bonuses, parts of your program. All those elements are useful tools. That's not all the tools, but those are all useful tools. Now, recognize also, this may take several steps for certain people. So some people, let's say you're going to do a group call on this particular subject to help people work through this particular issue that they all have. They're all working on figuring out what they want to sell for whatever that thing is that you're working on. You take them through that. Now that will solve some people's problems, but there's still another group that haven't got that problem solved. So you need to have another offering for that group. And then once you get done with that, there may still be a few who haven't got that problem solved, and you may have to have another one, and you escalate these at each level. Why? Because it's worth it. I strongly recommend the more you can do to resolve people's stumbling blocks early on, before the sale's made or shortly after they actually sign up for your program, the better off you will be in the long term. This is Don Crowther saying, just go do this stuff.